Now, Mr. Doma, insofar as you are relying on the population, the people, to give you information to improve on your performance, how are you winning their trust? Because the people don't, I mean, I'm sorry to say, I'm sure you know this, but people are very wary about dealing with the police.
This is why we feel that this type of summit will do away with this issue of not trusting or not wanting to pass or give police information. By the time we are done with this summit, you will discover that the people will have a different perception about giving police information.
It's not just the perception. They have gone through, they have experiences which are not palatable, so this puts them off. So your summit, I mean, how is that summit going to affect the man in the interior of Shomolu, for instance, who has some information he wants to give to you, but he's too scared to do that?
Yes, indeed.
That is why we are making the summit all involving, right from the market leader who would attend this summit would go back, sit with other market leaders and say, look, we were in Abuja, this is what came up, and we need, this time has come that we have to take the destiny of this country into our hands by assisting the security agencies, especially the Nigerian police, with useful information about crime and criminality, not only in the marketplace, but anywhere that we go. On the road, on the streets, in our homes, in the schools, we have students, leaders who will also be attending. We have business, traditional rulers, religious leaders, all these groups, it cuts across every segment of the society. So we want to believe that they will take this message down to the grassroots level.
I hear you. I hear you.
Mr. Doma, we have a question here. Some questions some viewers have been watching. Before we come back to the issue of the Criminal Justice Act and how much of it the police is already beginning to work on. Kemi Martin says, what is the police doing about the culture of impunity in the force that was a catalyst for the growth of Boko Haram? That's from Kemi Martins.
Before now, we had never condoned acts of impunity. The police has a very good mechanism in dealing with those who commit, who do the wrong things. So, right from time, we have never condoned that. And I am, for your information, I am the chairman of the first disciplinary committee. All officers who err, they are queried, their queries are processed, and we sit and decide the kind of punishment to be awarded, which is processed to the Police Service Commission for approval. For the junior ones, we default them, those who commit offenses, they are defaulted, tried or removed, and appropriate punishments are awarded. So the issue of impunity in the Nigerian police is not condoned at all.
Well, Mr. Malachy wants to respond, but before you come in, let me take him to the issue of welfare, because that's one of the reasons why some of these junior ones, as you call them, the rank and file, seem not to be aligning, because they are considering, for one, their pay package is not what it should be, so they go to take bribes, and then they are not sure that by the time they are done with serving the Nigerian police, or they can have a roof over their head, their children may not be well taken care of by the time they leave the police force, or, God forbid, they lose their lives in the line of duty. What about the welfare package of the police?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I want to inform you the lot that the present IG has put in place to make sure that these men who work for us, who are out there in the rain and in the sun, are well taken care of. When he came on board, he quickly organized what we call the welfare scheme. He looked at it, and they sat with the management and now came out with, let me reel them out one after the other. Starting with the housing scheme. When we looked at what was operating before, we discovered that this welfare housing scheme, police housing scheme, were not well coordinated and put in place. So a committee was set up to review those ones that have been there and those who are even proposing to come, and then came out with standard as to how the police, especially the rank and file, should be taken care of accommodation-wise. He has directed that in all the states of the Federation, police, the police lands that were secured during the previous administrations, we should get the lands put in place and get developers who would go there and put affordable houses in these places that have been acquired for the police. And in addition to that, he has also said those who are interested would be given plots in these places that have been secured to build the houses to their own taste. Additionally, especially those who have been lost in the line of action, the policemen that have been killed, these houses where they are built, some of them will be given some of these houses at a very, very, very reasonable prices. Training. Before now, policemen will go on courses, promotion courses, they were to feed themselves. But the IG said, no, it was wrong. What did he do? He went out of his way to get these men fed in all the training courses that they attended. That is, salary-wise is a policy issue. Before now, the salary of policemen were very poor, but I believe when President Shagari and Yar'Adua came on board, he looked at it and improved on it. The IG cannot just wake up and say he's increasing the salaries of police. More so that if we look at the position, the financial position of the country, some state governments are unable to pay salaries. So I don't think it is wise for the IG to now say, let him be asking for salary increase. Instead, we will look at areas, palliative areas that will assist these men in performing better.
So who handles the issue of salary increment? Who will decide on that one?
Definitely the IG would make a proposal at the right time to the government.
Okay. And then, Malachy.
In closing.
Quickly, before you close, I want your reaction to that summit that is holding in Abuja. And, because of great importance to the operations of the police is information coming from the civilian populace. And he's talking about this summit as if it's going to just solve all the problems between the police and the populace.
Let me be charitable to the DIG,
yes.
Doma, in saying that these are very creative ideas. But like he said, the summit is taking place in Abuja. And if I'm not asking for too much, is it going to be a one-day summit or two-day summit? If it is, I will personally, because I'll be in Abuja on Tuesday, and I would like to participate. But the fact that I participate does not mean that the ordinary Nigerian people will even know what happened, even if you come out with your communique or whatever. I appreciate that they are also targeting sensitive, organized societies and their leadership and so on and so forth. But please, I must not forget to respond to the question you asked. Lofty ideas. I mean, look at the body language of the present Inspector General of Police and the gentleman over there.
Encouraging.
You will see that these are people who are already thinking out of the box. But we will be rendering serious disservice to them if we don't say that there is out there still huge disconnect between the effort you are making and the level of confidence that the Nigerian people ought to have. And I give you two examples why that is happening. The one is the question of continued transgressions and malfeasance right in the police. The issue of extrajudicial killing, for instance, it will shock you, is still on. I mean, as a lawyer, we have had so many, even in recent times. A quick example is that of a lady, Doris Okoro, for instance, whose brother was extrajudicially killed here in Lagos on account of, whatever claims that the police had. The lady was only yesterday night rearrested by the police from Abuja. Now, if you have a lady who has lost his brother extrajudicially, and then he's now been arrested, taken to Abuja as I speak with you, how much confidence will that kind of person, for instance, have in relating with the
Malachy will have to go. I want to thank you so much. Mr. Doma, answer that question so that we can go.
A question on extrajudicial killing?
No.
Yes.
It's a one-day summit.
And the one-day summit?
Yes, it's going to be a one-day summit.
The extrajudicial killings?
extrajudicial killings, like I said, we don't condone any act of indiscipline on the part of our men. For the extrajudicial killing, you will see that when the IG came on board, what the strategy has put on ground to address this is like most of these accusations are heaped on the SARS men and their officers. What the IG did was to split these SARS units into two basic units. One of the units we refer to them as the strike unit, while the others we refer to them as the investigative unit. So the strike unit go out there, make a case, and hand over to the investigative unit so that the strike unit do not turn themselves into the judges of their own court.
All right, thank you very much, Mr.
This is to address this issue of extrajudicial killing so that at the end of the day, Nigerians will be happy with what the police is doing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dan Azumi-Doma, DIG, Force Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department. Thank you for speaking with us this morning.
Thank you.
And Mr. Malachy Ugwummadu, thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Sunrise will be back in a moment for another aspect of our societal living. We're looking at somewhere in the South. Please join us again.